Ramsey Solutions, broadcasting from the Pods Moving and Storage Studio. It's the Ramsey Show, where debt is dumb, cash is king, and the paid-off home mortgage has taken the place of the BMW as the status symbol of choice. We help people build wealth, do work that they actually love, and create real, amazing relationships. George Camel, Ramsey personality, host of the Fine Print podcast on Ramsey Networks, is my co-host today as we answer your questions about your life and your money. If you happen to be running around New York City for some reason or another and you're in Times Square, look up, you'll see us. The fine folks at Amazon Music donated or lent us their digital billboards all around the side of one building up there to advertise the Ramsey Show. Of course, Amazon Music carries the podcast of this show. We appreciate them doing that. And so wherever you listen to podcasts is fine, but got a little Ramsey Show digital action there going on in Times Square.
All the Times Square tourists are now tuning into the show. Yeah, so welcome.
Well, I mean, it's got my picture on there, so that probably...
Is that a deterrent?
I'm afraid that may mess the whole thing up, but it's got... Yeah, I think it's...
Rachel and John are there, too.
Yeah.
Well, me and Ken didn't make the cut.
They'll save it for us, but yeah, anyway. Yeah, so... Yeah, you work too hard to be this broke or something like that, it says. So, yeah, check it out, guys, if you're running around New York City. We appreciate that, and good working with the fine folks at Amazon Music. We appreciate them carrying the podcast. This podcast is offered everywhere. Great podcasts are offered anywhere you want to tune in. It's everywhere. So, Spotify, Amazon, Apple, of course. I don't know, wherever else you do that. Oh, I guess Google Play, right?
iHeart, Sirius XM, you name it.
You got it all there, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. The Rams, we have our own little network app that some people use to tune in. YouTube, of course. And iHeart. We're on the iHeart. That's right. We have our own channel on the iHeart Radio app. I forgot about that. That's been there since.
I mean, we're so many
days.
places. You're bound to forget a few at this point.
Well, I'm lost, but yeah.
On top of the 600-something stations.
Well, that's where I started. So all this other stuff has come along since then.
These kids and their newfangled technology.
Get off my lawn.
Get off my digital lawn.
Shut up, George. Open phones at 888-825-5225. We're going to start this hour off with Knoxville. Sam is calling. Hey, Sam, how are you?
Hey, good afternoon. I'm doing well. How are you doing?
Better than we deserve, sir. What's up?
Yes, sir. Okay, so just a rundown. I'm married, happily married with 3 children. My wife and I have been married for 14 years, something like that now. And we've got some debt that we want to get paid off. We have some big goals in the future. And so I'm a small business owner, and I really needed advice based upon that aspect, because I think I get everything else if I have a standard salary or income like that. But with the idea of being a small business owner, I'm a little bit, I guess I'm ill-equipped or, just ignorant of how to handle the situation. But I'll give you some numbers. We've got a truck loan, which is my work truck, and it's $19,000. We have a mortgage of $180,000, and then we have $800 in just two different zero-interest credit cards that are going to be paid off within the next 2 months. And so I'm looking at a little over $200,000 in debt. And I want to get this knocked out for my family so that I can make sure that we are in a position where we can help others as well as ourselves. And then,
so what did you pay taxes on last year in your business? What's your taxable income?
54.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Does your wife work outside the home?
She's a full-time household engineer.
Okay. Do you anticipate making more than 54 on the business this year?
Yeah, I'm looking to be around 60 to 70.
Good. What do you do?
I own a carpentry company. We do finished carpentry.
How many employees?
It's just me, and then I subcontract out to 2 other guys on occasion.
Okay. All right. Good for you. Okay. So it sounds like the income is fairly predictable. And if you're doing trim carpentry, there's a lot of construction in Knoxville, so you shouldn't have any trouble getting work for the next while without any trouble. I mean, you're not going to dry up and get zero, so you're going to be fine. And you should be increasing pretty steadily, as a matter of fact. So good news there. As far as running the business goes, what we teach folks in entree leadership is to hold enough in the business to make sure the business stays healthy. Now, what do you actually spend money on in this business? You're a one-man show. You do trim carpentry. Do you buy the supplies and then job ticket the whole thing out, or do you just supply the labor?
So I do some supplies, and then I do the labor, and then my biggest expense, because I just started last year, was acquiring all of my equipment, which we were able to do predominantly through a cash flow, but some of it was done through temporary debt that lasted, a couple months at a time before it was paid off, to buy equipment that was just absolutely needed for that moment. Mm-hmm. But I generally keep a balance on my box store card. But it's nothing that doesn't get knocked down every month. I chop away at it. I don't always have a zero balance there, though, as I try and, figure out how to do capital and all that. And do I need to put
so
more
what you need to do is you need to stop that, because that's a rubber crutch. It's going to fall under you. Okay?
Right.
And the other thing is you'll end up buying crap in the name of I need another tool. That you really didn't have to have. And
right.
So what I want you to do is I want you to pay cash for, or write a check or debit card for your equipment purchases, and I want you to hold back a percentage of your profits before you take money home.
Okay.
Now you're setting money aside for taxes every month, right?
Yes, and yes we are. Yeah, we call it.
That wasn't very convincing.
Yeah, so we did last year, and we actually ended up not paying taxes last year because of the amount of income. So we've got money set aside as a part of we just have one savings account. And
how did you not pay income with a $54,000 income?
Okay, so I think I misunderstood your question then. So after taxes, no, I was not at 54. I was down at 42.
I'm sorry, not after taxes. I was asking what your profit was that you paid taxes on. If you had a taxable income of $54,000, you did pay taxes.
Yeah, you're right. I'm sorry. I think I misspoke. Sorry, apologies.
That's okay. That's okay. So you need to be setting aside money for your taxes each month out of your profits before you take money home, and you need to set aside a small amount for a tool fund each month before you take money home, and then take everything else home, and then George work the baby steps.
Yeah, this is just going to go in the debt snowball. So let's pay off the credit cards, get rid of the truck loan, switch to a business debit card, and start using cash to run this whole thing. And that's going to keep you from getting into the cycle where you're trying to keep up.
Yeah, you're going to get caught in a cycle, because we work with construction people and have for 20 years in entree leadership, and I've kind of got that in my DNA as well. I grew up in the real estate business. Dad built homes when I was a kid, and so I love tools. I buy tools, I don't even know what they do, but I need the tool, and so that those of us that are cut out of that cloth, we tend to overspend on tools that we, in air quotes, have to have. And I want you to have the minimum tool purchase because it's overhead to get the job done. This is the Ramsey Show. If you're looking for ways to update your home without blowing the budget, I've got it. For years, I've been telling you about our friends at Blinds.com. Blinds.com makes it simple to shop top quality blinds, shades, and interior shutters from home with easy online ordering and free shipping. With Blinds.com, there's no need to renovate your entire home. Just change out what's on your windows with upscale choices like faux wood blinds, cellular, and roller shades, or even outdoor shades. Plus, Blinds.com guarantees the perfect fit, whether you do it yourself or you have them measure and install everything for you. Shop their latest looks and see how much you can save at Blinds.com today. The easy and affordable way to make your home more beautiful is Blinds.com. George Camel, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today. Guys, we really value input from you that watch and listen to the show. It helps us to know what's important to you so we can deliver the right content that will help you with the questions and the challenges that you have. We want to give you motivation, inspiration, and information so you change your life. That's our idea. One way you can share your thoughts with us is by answering a few questions in a new survey we just launched. You can check it out at ramseysolutions.com/survey. Takes just a few minutes, and we will do a drawing among the people that take the survey. Someone will win, randomly, a $500 Visa gift card. Check it out, ramseysolutions.com/survey. We want to hear from you. So it's one of those surveys we found out how popular George is.
Is that true?
It is true.
I'm hearing it for the first time.
It is. It's actually came back. Your personal ratings are very good on the show.
That's good to hear.
So,
all right. That is job security, folks. So thank you to all those nice people out there. Yeah. Do they get to rate you too?
Yeah, but the difference is I don't care.
There we go. I care deeply. I need all the validation and affirmation I can get.
I've been doing it 30 years. I'm probably just get off my lawn guy.
You're done taking a poll.
I want to be helpful. I want to be attuned to the customer need, but we're not taking a poll on.
This is not like the YouTube comment section. We actually want to make the show better, so we want good critical thinking skills here, folks.
Oh,
sorry.
Just busted on the YouTube crazies.
Too soon.
Wow. All right. Jack is in Richmond, Virginia. Hey, Jack, how are you?
Hey, guys, I'm doing great. How are you?
Better than I deserve. How can I help?
All right. So today, my wife and I just finished up baby step 2 this morning. We just made our last debt payment. And,
Yay! How much did you pay off?
In the world. We paid off $97,000 in 11 months.
Whoa, kicking it.
So we've been hustling. And the last thing, my question is we have about $70,000 sitting in a traditional IRA. I'm 29, she's 27. And my question is, as a part of, we're finishing up, going on to baby step 3 here, should we convert that to Roth and pay the taxes on it as a part of just finishing up baby step 2?
No.
At our age with that dollar amount.
No, after baby step 7 you would.
Okay.
I don't want you to pay tax bills while you still got a mortgage.
Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, I always hear you guys say match beats Roth beats traditional.
It does, and so all your stuff going forward should follow that formula. But this one, I don't want to convert it because converting it is going to create a $15,000 or so tax bill.
Yes, exactly. That's what I was worried about. It was another $15,000 that I wasn't looking forward to paying off, but I didn't know if it'd be the smart thing to do or not. So
it is once you've got extra money.
We got priorities here. So we got to get the fully funded emergency fund, begin investing 15%, get the down payment, get the house paid off, and then we have all the margin in the world because we don't have payments, and you can do stuff like that.
John is in Oklahoma City. Hey, John, welcome to the Ramsey Show.
Hey, thanks, Dave. How are you guys?
Better than we deserve, sir. What's up?
Okay, awesome. Well, hey, I took the Dave Ramsey advice here, sold my duplex, and going to take the proceeds from that. And I was planning on paying off my truck, but when I bought my house, my primary house in April, I had a cosigner because I didn't have enough job history. I just started a couple months ago, and I know it probably wasn't the smartest thing, but anyways, really what I'm getting at here is I think I'd rather pay off the house, and I know it's a larger debt than the truck, just because I'd like to get this cosigner off without having to refinance.
Okay, so you got enough cash from the duplex to pay off your home?
Yeah.
But not both.
But not both, right? I put a pretty big down payment on the house, and
so what do you owe on your house?
103, 104, something.
How
like
much
that.
You got in proceeds from the duplex?
105.
Okay, and you have any other money?
Yeah, I got my savings. I got about 30. Probably about 30,000 in there.
Yeah. Okay. What do you owe on your truck?
No, about 20.
Okay. What do you make a year?
This year it's going to be a little bit lower, probably around 45 to 50. I'm just getting ramped up in this whole thing.
You're single?
My new industry. Yep, single, getting married next year.
Oh, good for you. Okay. I'd pay off both.
pay off both. Okay.
It's going to leave you not much savings, but I want you to dive in and build your emergency fund up to 3 to 6 months of expenses. But I love the idea of having not a payment in the world. That feels really clean to me.
Right. Yeah, I can understand that. I'll have about probably around $7,000 to $8,000 in taxes on the proceeds there. So
yeah.
But okay, yeah. I mean,
I think you can. I still think you can make both of them. What's the truck worth?
It's worth about 38 to 40.
It's a lot.
You don't need to be driving a $40,000 truck when you make $45,000 a year.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, I changed my mind. I would just sell the truck.
Sell it, okay?
Yeah, that ain't happening. But that is what you should do. That went over.
I regret this immediately.
We went from advice to meddling.
Either way, you're debt free, and now you're in the market for a new, less expensive truck.
Yeah, you really shouldn't be driving a $40,000 truck when you make $45,000 a year because they go down in value like a rock. That's where Chevy gets that, like a rock. And so, yeah, you don't want to do that, dude. That's bad investment, bad place to have that much money parked with that level of income. A good rule of thumb, folks, is not have more than half your annual income tied up in things with wheels and motors. Things with wheels and motors go down in value. And so when you make $80,000, you got $60,000 worth of freaking toys. It's really you are like saying, I am middle class and plan to stay that way. That's what you're saying, right? And so looking good at the stoplight, and that's it, not in the balance sheet. And so wealthy people think differently about this, and that's how they became wealthy.
And when you sell for $40 and you owe $20, he can still go get him a $20,000 truck. That makes sense.
Yeah, and that would be about half of his annual income. And George, I know trucks have gone up, but $20,000 truck is not a bad truck.
No, you can get, and people
it's
go,
not a
Dave,
$40,000 truck.
It doesn't have all the features I want.
It's not a bad truck. Well, I mean,
You know truck guys, you're one of them.
I just drove my Raptor in here this morning. Tried to park it between those little electric things down there.
Hey, you chose that parking spot, Dave.
No, they put the little plug-in stupid thing right beside my parking spot, which is kind of like insulting to the Raptor. That's
true.
It gets the hives every time I pull up next to one of those little plug-in cars.
I'll apologize. Me and Rachel will apologize to your Raptor next time we pull up next to it.
Your little plug-in car owes an apology. I'm just saying.
Truck, but hey, truck people are their own breed, Dave. People get onto me. They go, "Well, George, you don't understand. You're not a truck guy."
That's right.
I need this $65,000 truck.
Well, everybody's got a thing where they say, I'm that guy. But let me just tell you what you are. You're a broke guy when you put too much in stuff that goes down in value. You can blame it on the battery. You can blame it on the truck. You can blame it on,
any shiny object with wheels.
I had to get a new bass boat. Those with a bigger engine, those bass were outrunning me. You can figure out a way to justify anything and call you. I'm a boat guy. I'm a what? I know you're not.
Do you catch more bass with a better boat? Is that how it works?
You're just broke. That's all. And so and I've been that guy. So the thing is, all of you out there, where you just drive like no one else. So later you can drive like no one else. I mean, I drove a piece of crap that, it's made of predominant color on this car was Bondo. And, it wouldn't bring, it wasn't even a $500 car.
Wow.
I mean,
you have to give someone money to get rid of it.
And go forward, but that was about the extent of it. And I drove that car for 10 years, 1 3-month period. During that 3 months, I saved everything I could get, and I upgraded considerably to a $1,500 car. And now what do I drive? By God, anything I want.
Anything he wants.
Because I saved my money and I got out of debt.
Dave, just give me your worst car.
Work the stuff we talked about.
Just give me your worst, least favorite car.
Ever?
I want to know which one of the ones you own right now.
Oh, that I own right now? Yeah. I don't have a car that I don't like. I get rid of them if I don't like them.
That's why they call it a Dave car. We're rebranding it.
That's it. This is the Ramsey Show.
Life is full of firsts. As the first and longest-serving Christian health cost-sharing ministry, CHM has shared medical expenses for its members since 1981. We believe you should have the freedom to focus on your health while being supported by a community of believers, giving you the opportunity to create many more firsts.
Thanks for joining us, America. This is the Ramsey Show. George Camel, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today. Joshua's in Seattle. Hi, Joshua. Welcome to the show.
Hey there. How y'all doing?
Better than we deserve, sir. What's up?
So I am a 30-year-old single dad. Just got divorced earlier this year, and I'm in about $38,000 worth of debt of my own. I feel like I'm living paycheck to paycheck, and I don't know where to start to just get out of this. I've reached an emotional point where I'm done. I've had enough. I know I need to set up a budget, but I'm not sure how or anything like that or what the first step would be.
I'm so sorry about your situation, Joshua. How long ago was the divorce? When was it finalized?
It was finalized in January.
Okay. And coming out of this, what kind of debt is that $38,000?
So it is personal loans I took out a while ago and credit card debt.
Okay. What's your income?
$65,000.
Okay. What do you do for work?
I'm a plumber.
Cool.
How old are the kids?
6 and 3.
You're full-time custody?
I have 50% custody.
Okay.
Well, we can definitely help you, and we'll give you some resources as well to with this process. Number one, getting on a budget. You're right. That is the key, and it's a difficult thing to do. And part of this, you might need to deal with the kind of the trauma and the emotional side to just get, you got the wind knocked out of you. And so part of it is just getting back up and going, how am I going to move forward with this new life, and what does this look like? And once we do that, then we can focus on the finances. But it feels like you're just treading water. Are you able to cover your bills every month, put food on the table?
I'm able to cover my bills every month. I can somewhat put food on the table. I've got friends and an adopted family around that they help me out quite a bit with making sure that I'm fed and the kids are fed.
That's good. That's what we want you to cover first. Everything else can wait. And if that means talking to the creditors, the credit card companies, the lenders, and saying, hey, here's my situation, here's what I can do right now, that's okay.
How much do you owe in your car?
I own my car outright.
Good. How much is your rent?
So I actually have a mortgage, and it comes out to $2,000 a month.
And your take-home pay is what?
So my take-home pay is right around $4,500 a month, but then I also get disability from the Navy, and that comes out to $1,500 a month.
Okay, so you're bringing home $6,000?
Yeah.
Right, okay. Right at it.
Your house payment's awful high, bud. It's 33% of your take-home pay. And of course, that's left over from the divorce. That wasn't what you signed up for. That's left over from the divorce, but that's part of what's tanking your monthly budget. So, getting on a written plan will make you feel like you've gotten a raise, getting on the budget. And so that's going to be very important. But if we take your $6,000, put at the top of the page, and we take food out first, and we take lights and water out second, and we take house payment out third, your truck is paid for, so you just got to put gas and insurance on it. That's it. And, you've got some money here. You shouldn't be like begging food off of friends. You're just disorganized. Right. You're just disorganized and have the crap beat out of you because it's been a hard year. But you've got, mathematically, you're okay. You can work through this. Obviously, you need to cut up the credit cards and stop the borrowing. You can't dig your way out of a hole. You got to. You can't just get out of a hole while you're digging out the bottom. You can't just keep digging. So no more debt. Chop them up. get on a written plan, take care of food first, lights and water second, house third, then you've got money left out of that. I mean, there's $2,000-3,000 laying there to do some stuff with, and we can begin to work on this. And then the other thing too is on the days you don't have the kids, I'd pick up extra time. As a plumber, you can make some serious money in overtime or side jobs, one of the two.
Right.
And an extra $1,000 a month on this debt makes it go away a lot faster.
Okay. Yep.
That's a short-term fix, but it's a short-term problem if we get after it. So.
Do you have any cash right now? Anything in savings?
I got about $100.
So step one, we've got to get a buffer between you and life, and that's going to be a starter emergency fund of $1,000. And we're going to get that as quickly as possible. We're talking a few weeks here. Then we're going to move on to the debt snowball, which is where we pay off all the debt, smallest to largest, regardless of the interest rate. And we're going to walk you through this in Financial Peace University. That's going to be our gift to you. 9 videos in there. Also with that, every dollar that'll help you create this budget. Income minus expenses should equal zero, a zero-based budget. Every dollar should have a job. And you're going to get to work. And over the next 18 to 24 months, you're going to bust it to get to a place where these kids see your sacrifice and you can put food on the table without having to worry about anyone else.
Yeah, less than 1 month, I want $1,000. Less than a month later, I want 2 of these credit cards gone. And so you're going to list them smallest to largest. You're going to knock off the little ones first and get some momentum like George is talking about. Hang on. We'll get you signed up. Austin will get you signed up for Financial Peace University. We'll get you into the class where you're learning how to handle money, and this all goes in your rearview mirror then. And this is the year of life change for you. So some of it bad, some of it good. And we're here to walk with you. So hang on. Austin will pick up. Joseph is with us. Joseph is in Salt Lake City. Hi, Joseph. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good. How about yourself?
Better than I deserve. How can we help?
So I'm 21 years old. I just came back from a summer of selling pest control, and I made $117,000. I pay for myself to go to college. I don't have any car debts. I don't have any mortgage or anything like that. And I was just wondering what your best advice would be going forward. I read Dave Ramsey growing up. My parents have been helping me through it, and I've got an emergency fund set aside for $10,000. And I mean, I could start going into investments like Roth IRAs, or I don't know, trying to like save for a house. Save for a house so I can just buy it after college. What would you recommend I do at this point in my life?
So, is this your long-term plan? Do you want to stay in pest control? Do you enjoy it?
I mean, I'll probably do it for the next 5 years.
But you said you're going to college.
Then I'll Yeah, I'm going to college right now. I currently go every fall and winter. It's $10K total for that, and I pay for myself to go to college. During the summertime, I go sell pest control. So I'll probably do that for 5 years until I graduate, and then I'll just get some kind of job. I'll probably go into a business management degree or something like that.
Yeah. What are you studying in college?
I'm studying business management currently.
Okay.
So do you want to be an entrepreneur and run your own business?
Yeah, that was always the dream to do, but, just life beats you down sometimes. So I'm going to college right now because I know that's a very good thing to do at my age, and I can always have that as a fallback. But
yeah, definitely. I would go ahead and finish that degree as fast as possible. And you've got, how much did you have saved out of this $100,000?
So I have $117,000 is what I came back with.
Okay.
After taxes, it'll probably be about $88,000.
Okay.
Gonna pay my tithing on that. Got my emergency fund in the 2 semesters, and I bought a car in cash because I needed a car.
Okay, good.
And after
Sharp
all
young
that
man.
car stuff,
what did you buy? How much did you spend on the car?
it was $9,000. I got a 2007 Ford Mustang.
Perfect.
GT. So
love it. Very good.
Pretty good.
All right. So yeah, that all I'm going to do is what cash is left after all the different things you listed out there. I'm just going to stack cash. It's college insurance plan.
Mm-hmm.
It's ensuring that you go through college.
After that.
It's ensuring that you go through college. You don't need to start Roth IRAs. You don't need to start a house fund. You need to go through college, debt free. And you got this lined up. So you pay your taxes, you pay your tithe, you pay for the car, you set your emergency fund aside, and then you stack cash. And if you graduate from college with 50 or 60 grand in that account, then we can talk about starting to invest then or buying a home then. Just take it easy, man. You're just a go-getter.
You're so far ahead of the game.
You're a go-getter, man. You're a hustler. It's good. Hustle and grind, man. You're doing great. Big piles of cash, get through school, then start your investing in house buying. That's what I would do. This is the Ramsey Show. George Camel Ramsey Personality is my co-host today. Open phones at 888-825-5225. Danny is with us. Danny is in Boca Raton. Hi, Danny. How are you?
I'm doing all right. How are you?
Better than I deserve, sir. How can we help?
So I have a 3-year-old and a 6-week-old. Me and my wife would like to put some money away for them. We were wondering what the best thing would be.
Okay. Are you, well, we teach folks a thing called a process for becoming wealthy and taking care of all the different components of our life called the baby steps. You may have heard of that, you may not, but the first thing you would do is not put money aside for your kid. The first thing you would do is to set money in an emergency fund of $1,000, a beginner emergency fund. The second thing is get out of debt, everything but the house. How much debt do you guys have?
Pretty much none. We only have 2 credit cards, but there's no debt on them. We have about $3,000 in emergency fund.
Okay, no car debt, no student loan debt?
Nope.
Good. What's your household income?
Together is about 80, 85, 90.
Okay, cool. Well, once you've done baby step 2, which is debt-free but the house, all that means is you need to place some scissors across those credit cards and cut them up. Start using debit cards so you don't accidentally slip into debt, which people do all the time. Then we would go on to baby step 3, which is finish the emergency fund, and you're short on that. You got a $3,000 now account, and it needs to be 3 to 6 months of expenses. Once you have that, then you would begin investing in your retirement, 15% of your income going away for retirement. And once you got that started, then you start saving for the kids' college, which is what you're calling about. And but the best thing you can do to stabilize the family for the kids is to to be out of debt and be building your investments. And then in addition to that, we can start saving for kids' college. If you click on SmartVestor at RamseySolutions.com, you might find a SmartVestor Pro that you will find, a SmartVestor Pro that we recommend. Sit down with one that you like that has the heart of a teacher, and you'll want to learn about 529s and ESAs and putting money in mutual funds for your kids' future. Is that what we're talking about here?
Yes, sir.
Okay. It says on my screen something about an IUL.
Yeah, we were looking into those because my
wife, you got a friend in the insurance business.
Yeah.
And guess what?
Which by the way,
going to make way more commission
sucks.
off of that.
Yeah. So IULs are awful. It's an indexed universal life. You never do investing inside of an insurance policy. It is the world's worst place to do investing. The only people in all of the financial world that recommend that you invest inside of a life insurance policy are insurance people. Nobody else does. Nobody else believes that crap. It's so outdated, so outmoded. It's covered in fees, horrible product. Don't do it. Was I unclear?
No, sir.
Okay.
And by the way, your kids don't need life insurance. Life insurance is meant to replace your income in case something happens to you. So you, your wife, you both need a good term life policy, meaning it's not for your whole life. We're talking about a 15, 20-year level term life policy, 10 to 12 times your income. If you have those in place, you can rest easy at night.
Yeah, and then if something happened to the two of you, your kids will be taken care of, right?
Right.
But and you get that at XanderInsurance.com. They'll shop a gazillion companies, get you the best deal. That's who you deal with. So,
And it's way more affordable than these IUL policies.
it'll be 5%. $5. If your IUL's $100, this will be $5. It is literally is 5%. It's horrible, man. So just stay away from that. So, walk your way up into investing in real investments. And in the meantime, make sure you've got term life insurance in place and you've got the whole thing taken care of.
Dave, I'm seeing this all over social media. I don't know why, but the young people are gravitating towards these universal life policies. And here's how it's marketed. They go, you're supposed to use your life insurance while you're alive. Did you know that? And everyone's like, oh my gosh, this is brilliant. This investing policy inside of my whole life. Oh my gosh, this is amazing. I'm going to become a millionaire. And the commissions and fees these guys are making selling this crap is insane.
Yeah.
And the amount of time you have to spend pulling that premium every single month in order to make any amount of money is absurd.
Well,
I don't know how it's legal.
The indexed universal policy is it's a newer version of an old bad idea, is what it amounts to. And so what you're going to find if you take this product apart and look at the components of it, the insurance portion goes up every year. It's basically what we call an ART, an annual renewable term. Term insurance, all life insurance gets more expensive every year that you're alive, period, because you're statistically more likely to die every year you're alive, right?
Brilliant.
So if you're 51, you're more likely to die statistically than if you're 50, period. Okay, end of story. Now, how do you get then a 15 or a 20-year level term insurance? Well, it is cheaper than the average of the 15-year of increases. The ART would start out cheaper and it would end higher, and the lines would cross right in the middle, hypothetically, if it was exactly how, you see what I'm saying? So the ART would go, it'd go straight up, and the 15-year would be level, and it would cross right in the middle at 7.5 years. However, it doesn't do that because it is cheaper for an insurance company to produce a 15-year policy because they keep you for 15 years. Then it's called persistence in the insurance business, than it is for them to try to get you to stay with a policy that goes up every year. Can you imagine that if you get a bill and every year it goes up, you're probably more likely to cancel that? So that policy doesn't stay on the books, so it's more expensive for them to sell ARTs. So net result is a 15-year is way cheaper than the average of 15 years of ART. Okay? Now, the index universal goes up every year inside the policy, but you don't see it. So if you got a $400 premium, a certain portion, like on your, if you ever look at your mortgage payment, a portion goes to interest, a portion goes to principal. The further you go along, more goes to principal, less goes to interest. This is exactly the opposite. The further you go along, more goes to insurance, less goes, because the ART is going up every year inside there, less is going to your investments. And so if you keep the stupid thing long enough, it will begin to be the point that the premium you're paying will not even cover the insurance cost.
Oof.
And so it starts to eat back into your savings just to keep the policy alive. And the thing gets what we call upside down in the insurance business. And so now you've got a real piece of crap that's eating itself from the inside out.
But they pitch it as this really sophisticated, nuanced.
Listen,
it's so complicated you don't understand. Just trust me.
Yeah.
As your insurance guy, I'm going to make you lots of money.
Let me give you a clue. Okay, when you drive past most cities, the skyline has banks and life insurance companies. These are the two towers in every skyline. Santa Claus didn't build those. And those people didn't build them with wealth they inherited. They built them with money they took from you. Banks, screwing you. Life insurance companies, screwing you. This has been going on for decades.
Nothing new.
It's not a new song, not a new dance. And just because you put it on TikTok, for God's sakes, doesn't make it smart. As a matter of fact, that kind of dumbs it down.
Dave, that's a trigger word for you. I'm sorry. I shouldn't have mentioned anything.
I mean, it's just like...
What we teach is that you should take the difference. That if you pay $5 for term life versus $100 for whole life, take the $95 you would have spent and invest that, and you're going to be way better off than having touched one of these crappy policies.
Yeah. Oh, here, by the way, after you paid extra on this all these years and you die, they only pay the face value. They don't pay the face value plus your savings that you've been paying extra to build. So it's like a savings account with a crummy rate of return.
They get locked up.
That when you die, they keep your money. I mean, Who would bank with that? Oh, people that buy stuff on TikTok.
I think Danny needs better friends.
Yeah, well.
It's time.
No, I mean, that happens to everybody. Because that's how most, particularly whole life, permanent life, crappy life insurance is sold, is some old friend from college suddenly remembers you.
My buddy from Northwestern Mutual said.
Yeah, for God's
Let's be
sakes.
done with that.
Oh, that's horrible. That happened to me. I bought it
We've all been
when
there.
I was a child boy. Yep, I sure did. I did the same stupid stuff, and I have a degree in finance, and I fell for the crap.
Now he's a grown man, America. He made it.
This is The Ramsey Show. Dave here. We just launched a brand new audience survey for The Ramsey Show, and we'd love your feedback. You could be entered to win a $500 Visa gift card. No purchase necessary. Take the survey at RamseySolutions.com/survey. From the headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, broadcasting from the Pods Moving and Storage Studio, it's The Ramsey Show, where debt is dumb, cash is king, and the paid-off home mortgage has taken the place of the BMW as the status symbol of choice. We help people build wealth, do work that they love, and create actual amazing relationships. Open phones here today at 888-825-5225. George Camel, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host. Akosia is on the line in Orlando. Hey, how are you?
Hi, Mr. Ramsey. How are you?
Better than I deserve. What's up?
Thank you for all you do. God bless you.
You too.
So I have a question about my mom. Her landlord is planning on increasing the rent by $400, and she has no way to pay this for the next year. She currently makes about $2,400 a month. So with the new rent plus utilities and her personal bills, she's looking at over $3,000 a month. As her daughter, I've tried to look for many different places for her to move to somewhere cheaper so she can save money and buy a house for next year. But she keeps tossing them aside because she's very picky. Anything that's not in her taste, she would just disregard it. So how do I convince my mom that she needs to find somewhere cheaper so she can save money? She's 54 and she doesn't even have a single dollar in retirement savings. She has nothing, but she wants all the bells and whistles.
How old are you?
I'm 26 years old.
Okay. Why does a 54-year-old woman need help picking out her new place?
Because she just needs help with those things. She's not too tech savvy, like going on websites and finding new places.
Well, you don't have to be tech savvy to know you can't live there anymore.
Yes, sir.
You can do
And
that
she's
with a
not
yellow pad and a number 2 pencil.
She's not finance-minded at all. I'm the person who's always on her to pay her bills on time, avoid late fees. I always give her business ideas, but she just tosses them aside. She doesn't see the urgency in fixing her finances.
She'll get urgency if you don't fix them for her. They'll evict her butt.
What's her plan
And
currently?
the thing is that
Just to go into debt, $600 a month?
she said she's going to get a second job, but here's the thing. My mom is a single mother. She's always worked 2 or 3 jobs, so it's taken a huge toll on her health over the years, so I really don't want her getting a second job. And I want her to buy a house and save money for retirement. But she doesn't understand that she needs to find somewhere cheaper and save money. I really
agree
don't want
with
her
your
to
conclusion.
work more.
I agree with your conclusions. And I appreciate you loving your mom and wanting good things for her. I am really confused why you're the only adult in this conversation with your mom. This is not your job. She's 54 freaking years old. It's time that she learned how to do something. You know?
Yes, sir.
I mean, my kids don't run around taking care of Dave.
Yeah.
And I don't even run around taking care of them. They're like your age. So, I mean, these are supposed to be like adult activities. You shouldn't be having to caretake your mom unless she has some kind of mental disability, and then you're taking care of her. I understand that. But she doesn't have a mental disability. She just doesn't give a crap.
Yeah.
It doesn't sound like she has a lot of drive either. What's she doing for work?
Exactly. She's a CNA. That's all she's done for many years.
Full time?
She works 3 days and then 4 days.
Okay, so what would I do if I were in your shoes? Now that I'm getting over just being aggravated at your mother for being irresponsible. Okay. I appreciate the journey that you are on and the question that you're asking, but the answer is I don't think you can do this for her, and I don't think you should do this for her. It's not good for you. It's emotionally weird. It's a boundary violation, and it's not good for her. So instead, what I would do is step to the side and have a conversation with her that sounds like this. Mom, I love you, and I want you to have a great life. You have worked so hard for so many years that it makes me cry that you are struggling. I can't do this for you. I won't do this for you. But I will be your biggest cheerleader, and I'll even coach you on some things I think you should do. But you're going to have to ask me what I think you should do. I'm not going to tell you anymore. And if she decides to sit over there and do nothing and get evicted, that is her grown-up decision. It is not your responsibility. You need to wash your hands of this. It is not in you can't fix her life. She has to fix her life. And even if you could, you shouldn't. It's weird and toxic. So your love for her and your honor for her, for all the wonderful hard work she's poured in, and your wish for her that she has good things is dependent not on you, it's dependent on her to go get those things. You can't do it for her. Nor do I have a sentence that you can say to her that says, whoo, now all of a sudden this lady who's never had any ambition gets some. This lady who's chosen not to ever deal with finances at all suddenly wants to go do that. Now, but what you can do is come alongside her and just say, Mom, I love you. I'll help you any way I can in terms of coaching you, and I'll be your biggest cheerleader, but I'm not going to do it for you, and I'm not going to carry the emotional burden of you not being able to pay your rent when you refuse to carry your own emotional burden of you not being able to pay your rent. Does that sound harsh to you?
No, it sounds reasonable. I'm just very concerned about her health. I don't want to lose my mom.
She's 54. Health? She's not going to die from getting evicted.
But she's had a lot of health scares because of working so hard over the years. She's always had 3 jobs because
you can't fix it, honey.
Okay.
She has to fix it. You're more worried about her than she is. She's not worried about it. Is she?
Yeah.
I mean, on a scale of 1 to 10, you're a 9 on worrying about her. On a scale of 1 to 10, she's a 2 on worrying about her. Am I right?
You're right.
Yeah. So, I mean, you cannot, if my kid doesn't want me to eat pizza and fried bologna anymore, toughies. I'm still going to eat it. I'm 62. I'm free. I get to make these choices. And if my 30-year-old doesn't like it, toughies. I'm still eating fried bologna, and I'm still going to eat pizza and biscuits and stuff, okay? And, Dad, I'm worried about your health. I understand, but I'm not worried about as much as you are. I'm still going to eat that. These are choices that grown-ups get to make.
All change starts with being angry about your situation. Until she hits that point, she's not going to change, and enabling her is not going to help her long term.
But you can put your arm around her and say, I'm worried about you, and when you're ready to do this stuff, I'll be your biggest cheerleader, and I'll be your biggest coach. But I can't coach a wet blanket. So Mom, when you get ready to move, I'll help you. But I can't do it for you. I say it all the time. If you're a business owner and you don't know your numbers, you don't know your business. And when markets are shifting, it's even more important. You've got to know where you stand so you make your next move the right move. And you don't have to be in the dark here. Over 31,000 businesses, including my team at Ramsey, know their numbers because they use NetSuite by Oracle, the #1 cloud financial system. NetSuite gives you visibility and control of your financials, planning, budgeting, and inventory so you can manage risk, get reliable forecasts, and improve margins. Having everything in one place has saved my team hours each week since we made the switch to NetSuite. NetSuite is a game changer. So head on over to netsuite.com/Ramsey to get a product tour today. That's netsuite.com/Ramsey. George Camel, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today. Thank you for joining us, America. This is the Ramsey Show. Tom is with us. Tom's in Salt Lake City. How are you, Tom?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Better than I deserve. What's up?
So my wife and I are at the end of the baby steps. We're debt-free, thankfully, in large part to you and your program and just some crazy life experiences that enabled us to get there. We've worked real hard, and that's where we're at now. So we are both now looking into our retirement, but both of us started this whole journey in our 30s, and so our retirement investments were rather kind of pretty delayed. We didn't start investing until, like I said, our late 30s. And so what we have now is we started with a fairly modest income. Now my wife works and I own my own business, and we have a much larger income than we had before.
So what's your household income now?
Right now we're close to 400.
Wow! Look at you. How old are you again?
I'm 39.
Oh, wow.
Amazing.
You're ancient. I can't believe you're getting around. And
I know.
Yeah, and how much do you have in retirement?
After this year, we'll have about 100.
Good for you. Good. Okay. And how much debt do you have?
We are debt free. It's taken us 8 years. But
house and everything?
Everything's gone. Everything's gone.
House and everything?
Yep.
Wow. Way to go, dude. Way to go. What's the house worth?
I personally think it's worth probably about 400 or so, but the market says that it's about 650. So,
well, I mean, the market it gets to decide. You don't get to decide. So right. I'm calling it 650 then. Good for you, man. Yeah. Well done. Well done. And you're making bank. What a great business you do. This is awesome. So now all you got to do, you're at what we call baby step 7. So now all you got to do is stack up cash now, dude. And with a $400,000 shovel, you ought to be able to stack it up pretty fast.
That's what we're really excited about, and we're looking at potentially retaring in the next 10 years.
Yeah, for sure. So what's your question today? Sounds like you're doing great.
My question today, my question really is, as far as the 15% of your income into retirement.
That doesn't apply to you. You're at baby step 7. That's only when you're on baby step 4.
You can ramp that up once you get the house paid for.
That's what I needed to hear.
Yeah, baby step 7 is save as much as you can. Give as much as you can. Live as much as you can.
Our 10-year plan. That sounds so great to hear you say that. If we dump in 100 to 150 a year into this investment firm that we found through your Smart Investor Pros, they're helping us out because I am very investment unsavvy, so they're guiding us through that.
Yeah.
If we just dump in 150 a year, then their forecast says that within 10 years we could retire as multimillionaires and live off interest.
Oh, yeah, you
So,
probably have a couple million in that alone, and the house will be worth a couple million then. So, yeah, I mean, you're going to be $4 million net worth at 50 years old is what it sounds like to me.
it's good to hear you say that.
Yeah, I mean, if you keep making this kind of bank and you drop 150 in there, I mean, 150 for 10 years is $1.5 million. Plus the growth during that time is easily another $500,000, probably another $1 million actually.
So
I mean, 10 times 150 is 1.5 million, dude. Okay, 39 to 49.
Yeah, exactly.
So
that's exactly what we're looking at.
Yeah, you don't have to have like a calculator or anything to do that. You can do that one in your head. So then you just add some, the growth that you're going to make on top of that during that time is astronomical. And so, yeah, there's another $1 million easy on there in growth. Yeah.
It'll double every about 7 years or so.
Yeah, you're going to be in great shape. Just work with your SmartVestor Pro. Keep laying out a plan. Shovel the cash over there. And here's the trick, is to avoid getting arrogant in the middle of this and blowing it up before you get there. That's the trick. Because what happens is you look over there and you got $1 million paid for house and you got a couple $1 million laying in mutual funds in your retirement, and then you go, I can afford to go do this stupid thing now. And you can blow the whole thing up by derailing. Just dance with the girl that brought you. Stick with the program. Dance with the one that brought you to the ball. Just stick with the program. Don't get over here and go, oh, now I'm going to, Bitcoin is now my answer.
I'm going to put it all in Doge.
People, you get a little bit of hubris, and suddenly your brain just fries out. So just don't do that. Just mutual funds and paid for real estate. Just keep it simple and stack cash, and you're going to be in really good shape, man. You've done a great job. And largely because, A, you're paying attention, and B, you're making a lot of money.
It's a big shovel. That helps.
Yeah. Very nice. Proud of you. John's in Houston, Texas. Hey, John, how are you?
Good, guys. How are you?
Better than we deserve. What's up?
All right, here's what I got going on. So we have recently sold some farmland that we had down in Florida, made some cash. We currently owe, the only thing we owe on is the house. Mm-hmm. We owe $287 on the house. Mm-hmm. Cash on hand right now, including everything in our checking and everything else, is $282.
That includes the farmland proceeds?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
So I have some employee stock purchase stock, about $45,000 worth.
Perfect.
That's an individual stock. I work in Houston, so it's oil and gas, so it's pretty volatile. Mm-hmm. What are your thoughts on selling that $45,000 worth, getting out of the individual stocks, paying off the $287, being completely debt free? House is current valued at about $650, $680. The $40,000 or so as the emergency fund, and then we can stack some cash from there.
You just saved me some wind. That's exactly what I was going to say. I'd cash it out, pay off the house, and that leftover becomes your emergency fund. Anything beyond that, you guys can do what you want with. Go take a vacation, celebrate.
I mean, John, you pulled it off here. You got the trifecta. You paid off the house, you got your emergency fund, and you saved George Wind. All in one answer. It was well done, sir. Well done. Yeah, definitely do all that, brother.
It's an
do
awesome
all that.
plan.
You're right on
Good
track.
for you.
What do you make a year?
140.
Yeah. And so now you get you're at baby step 7, and just like the last caller, all we got to do now is save more than 15% into retirement. Load your retirement. You can load your 401k up. You can load Roth IRAs up in good mutual funds. And how old are you?
39.
Same age.
Yeah,
as our last caller.
You're going to be a millionaire by the time you're 45, mathematically. Because as the value of the house increases and you save $25,000 or $30,000 a year for the next 6 years, and the growth on all of those things, you're going to be over $1 million net worth by the time you're 45. Well done.
I'm loving this trend.
You are truly a baby steps millionaire. You know, George, there may not be another radio show or podcast in America where you can call in and be succeeding and prospering and find people happy about it.
We'll
happy
celebrate
about
with
it.
you.
We are happy that you are winning. We are capitalist pigs. We are glad you are winning.
Most shows are mad. They're angry.
We are not angry at success.
These guys
think
are crooks.
Success is amazing. We don't think you're a crook. We think you're awesome. We think you left the cave, killed something, and drug it home. You're demonstrating work ethic. You are demonstrating character and perseverance, and you are causing these variables to move. You are not waiting on Washington to fix your life. We love people like you people. When you call in here, you will get celebrated here, and if it starts pissing off the left-wing nuts, that is just a bonus.
You're only fueling Dave, guys.
That's just a bonus. It's just a bonus, man. I just love it. A guy making $400K and he's 39 years old. That's just awesome.
Now, that's a trend I can get behind. Forget Bitcoin. That's the trend I'm hopping on.
Let me just tell you. You know what that means? It means he's helping a lot of people. Because people don't give you money if you're screwing them.
You got to provide value.
They give you money when you're helping them. That's how this works. You're providing value. You're adding value to their life in some way. So when you're doing that, you are enhancing humanity. Well done. Well done. This is The Ramsey Show. Look, I love real estate, and I want you to have a house, but I don't want a house to have you. That's why you need to get in touch with Churchill Mortgage to make sure you do this right. These guys are awesome. They'll help you get on a smarter mortgage plan because they're committed to doing what's right for you. That means they check in every year with free consultations to help you stay on the right plan. They show you how to save money and interest so you can build wealth faster. They walk you through the total cost of your loan so you can make the best choice. Basically, they care. That's why we call them Ramsey Trusted. You can achieve debt-free home ownership, and Churchill is here to help. Go to their site, churchillmortgage.com/Ramsey, to start your approval or get more information. George Camel, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today. Thank you for joining us, America. Have you ever noticed that when you commit to change in one area of your life, it's easier to make progress in other areas? We met thousands of people on their journey to building wealth who accomplished other amazing things along the way, like losing 50 pounds. They find a career that they love. They learn to overcome stress and anxiety. What seems impossible becomes possible when you have a smart plan. You turn up the focus and intensity on your goals, and that's why we're bringing the SMART Conference to Dallas, Texas on Saturday, October 22nd. It is our only live event of the fall that is not yet sold out. I take that back. There's a few tickets left in Minneapolis for the Building Wealth, but that's it. Other than that, this is it, and you can come live in person all day. Total top of the line, number one best-selling authors and thought leaders in each of the subjects, whether it's marriage. Craig and Amy Groeschel will be there. Pastor Craig will be there from lifechurch.tv over in Oklahoma City. Our friend speaking on marriage. Dr. John Deloney on mental wellness. Rachel Cruz on money. Ken Coleman on career. George Camel on money. There's going to be a few other surprises. I'll be there. We're going to be talking about relationships, career growth, everything. It's all day long. You will leave smarter. You need new information and new inspiration to keep moving. It is a giant pep rally. There will be about 8,000 of us there, and there are about 2,000 tickets still left, so we can still get you in. The VIP and Platinum are all sold out, but the general admission is still available, and it's a great, great event. Dallas, Texas, Saturday, October 22nd, RamseySolutions.com/events for the SMART Conference. Our question of the day comes from Blinds.com. They have a 100% satisfaction guarantee. That means even if you mismeasure or you pick the wrong color, they'll remake your blinds for free. Free samples, free shipping. And with the new promos they run every month, you'll save even more. Use the promo code Ramsey to get the best possible deal.
Today's question comes from Taylor in Indiana. I've come into some inheritance money and wanted some ways to invest that is best for me at 68 years old. I have no outstanding debt and am very healthy. I've read much on index funds, but need some guidance. Thank you. All right, so 68, we don't know how much this inheritance is, and we don't know much about Taylor's financial situation. But I would tell her to make sure she has all of her debt paid off, including the home, and beyond that, we can invest some of this money into mutual funds and potentially index funds. So I think that is wise as far as investing goes, and she needs to be working with a pro who can guide her because this is clearly very new to her, new territory.
Yeah, take your time and learn about it. Sit down with one of the SmartVestor pros. One of the things, in order for a SmartVestor pro to be Ramsey trusted and become a SmartVestor pro, someone in the mutual fund in investment advice business, they don't work for us, but in order for us to put our stamp of approval on them, they have to have the heart of a teacher, meaning that their job is not to sell you something, their job is to teach you. And then you decide to buy it or not, based on what you learn. But George is right. I would have you at 68 become debt-free before I did any major investing. And again, we don't know how much inheritance you got, how much debt you've got, the other pieces of this, and he's exactly right. Now, an index fund is typically referring to an S&P 500 index fund. S&P is a company called Standard & Poor, and they rate the top 500 companies on the New York Stock Exchange, called the Big Board. Okay, so they rate the top. These are the largest 500 companies that stock is sold, publicly traded on the stock exchange. And an index fund mimics if you were to buy each of those stocks, and you bought 500 shares, one share of each, or 5 million shares, and it was an even distribution across the top 500 companies. So if you take the top 500 companies on the stock market and a measure of all of them as a group goes up or goes down, you are really measuring the stock market. It is a much, much more accurate measure of what the stock market is doing than the Dow Jones Industrial Average.
There's much fewer companies on there.
Yeah, which is just a handful of companies, okay? So it's kind of the bellwether because back in the industrial age, it made the grade for the media to pick up on it. But the statistical, mathematical measure of the stock market is really the S&P 500. So if you buy an S&P 500 index fund, your money will do exactly what the stock market does. Not any better, not any worse. And so that's how we measure against, if you're going to outperform the market with another mutual fund, then that would be a fund that has a better historical track record than the S&P 500 does.
And those are actively managed. Someone is actually choosing which companies they think will beat the S&P 500.
Exactly. That's a good point. So it's not a mix that's exactly the same. Thus, it's a mix that is superior to the average.
And they can be weighted differently.
Exactly. You can put it however you want. So, and it's all kinds of different funds out there that do that. But an index fund is a very safe play when you're playing for a long haul. Now, it's not a safe play to do anything in the stock market when you're doing it for 6 months or doing it for 1 year.
Which we've seen with the market the last 6 months.
It's down 15% right now. And so, it's not a safe play. You would have lost, you put $100,000, you would have lost $15,000. You didn't lose all your money. I didn't lose all my money, but you did lose $15,000 out of your 100 since the first of the year.
And it hurts to see the balance go down ever when you're investing.
Yeah. Yeah, so but that's what the S&P is and what it has done. And so what you're buying is a very boring mutual fund. And there's nothing wrong with boring.
We like boring when it comes to investing.
Yeah. Exciting is often stupid. So we're not trying to be exciting here. We're not trying to win any sex appeal contest here. We're just trying to get the tortoise to beat the hare. The tortoise is ugly, he's slow, and he's steady.
That feels like a personal attack, Dave, but I'll take it.
Why, are you a hare?
You call me ugly, slow, and steady.
Oh, because you're a tortoise.
Yeah, I'm the tortoise.
Okay, well, there you go.
And let it be known, Dave has not won any sex appeal contests.
Wow.
You heard it here first on The Ramsey Show.
Wow.
Sorry, this is a family show, Dave. I apologize.
This is George. This just got personal.
But this is a good point to make for Taylor. The goal, Let's go back to, let me backtrack.
Quickly, let me change the subject.
To the inheritance. My goal is to be a steward of what was given to me, right? This was a gift. This is an amazing blessing. And so this is how we see money, through the filter of God has given this money for us to manage, and we want to be good stewards and not have this money disappear. And so I want to try to grow this money and maintain it and allow me to have an incredible retirement, which hopefully she's doing at 68. We don't know her situation. But that would be my goal. If you get $1 million, let's have that balance remain at $1 million. And we invest this wisely in order to do that.
There you go, folks. That's how it works. George Camel here to help us with so many things.
You never know.
Yeah, he's a helpful lad.
Thank you. If nothing else, at least I will be helpful. But that's what we do here on the show, Dave.
I'm flabbergasted at you. Jennifer is in New York City. Hi, Jennifer. How are you?
I'm doing great. How are you guys?
Better than we deserve. What's up?
All right. So I know financing anything is a big no-no, but
correctamundo.
Okay. This, in my opinion, and my husband's, we're tossing. We have the opportunity to finance solar panels versus paying the electric company.
You have the opportunity to go into debt?
That's amazing.
Well,
I'm glad they gave you this opportunity.
Oh my God!
Because not everyone can get this opportunity.
Okay, so why do you want to do it?
The opportunity is our bill will be significantly lower with the financing of the panels versus our monthly electric bill.
How much are the panels?
The payments come out to $330.
No, I wouldn't want to ask.
How much total?
Poor people ask how much a month.
Right. No, with the new roof, it comes out to $97,000.
So you're going to spend $100,000 to save a few chunks of change on your electric bill. That's going to take a long time to ROI while you're paying interest.
Well, we figured with the way we pay off our bills, we'll have it done within 5 years. And then there's no more electric bill, no anything.
Solar panels are a good investment if you pay cash for them only, not finance them. And they're a good investment if you can run a break-even analysis short of about 3 years. 5 years is too long to break even on them. Because here's the problem. You get ready to market the house, you now have a $97,000 extra mortgage on the house.
That did not increase the value.
That did not increase the value of the house. That's exactly right. So you're going to get yourself stuck. Do not finance these things. No. Bad play. Thank you for joining us, America. George Camel is my co-host today. This is the Ramsey Show. Christian is with us. He is in Fort Worth, Texas. Hi, Christian. How are you?
I'm good, Dave. How are you doing?
Better than we deserve, sir. How can we help?
So I am currently a police officer. I've been for about 7 years now. And I've been looking to change careers into the aviation industry, get to the airlines. But I'm having some questions as far as finances go. Getting into the aviation industry is not cheap. It's kind of a club that you have to pay your dues to get into.
Yep.
And so my question is, I know loans are obviously your big no-no, but I'm kind of looking at it as I'm investing in myself rather than investing in some other thing that I don't have control over. So my question would be, should I get a loan to cover my flight expenses to get to the airlines quicker? Or do you recommend that I save up for maybe a year or more and take more time and then just cash flow it as I go?
You're going to regret it if you don't cash flow it.
Okay.
Because here's the thing we've discovered. 100% of the time, none of our plans execute exactly the way we think they're going to.
Right.
Nothing works out perfect. I mean, you're a police officer. You see people have bad plans all the time.
Oh, yeah.
So you actually have a good plan, but none of our plans work exactly like we think they're going to. I mean, little short plans can. You can say, I'm going to get in the car, I'm going to drive to work, and that plan works out. I get to work. Mm-hmm. We don't even think anything about it. No big deal. That plan worked out. But when you're talking about something this expensive, this extensive, the world of the airline world, the world of being a pilot, whether it's a corporate pilot or whether it's working for a commercial airline, is changing every day right now.
Right. Mm-hmm.
I mean, years ago, you could come out of the Air Force and roll into a cockpit and, make $200,000, which in today's dollars would be $1 million, And
right.
those days have been long gone for a long, long time. And now the airlines have all kinds of mismanagement, not all of them. I mean, Southwest is well run, but the vast majority of them are poorly operated. Every little bump in the gas prices puts them into a tailspin, no pun intended. It's a weird world, and by the time you get there, it will have changed. It's not going to be what you think it is. And I don't want you to have, $100,000 in debt, and you're walking up, and now you feel like you've got to take some horrible pilot's job just to be a pilot and just to get to pay on these debts, and you box yourself into a corner. I would much rather you have the freedom to do this at the speed of wisdom, meaning your career change, and the way you do that is you don't go in debt for this. But here's the thing. I'm guessing you've had a lesson or two.
Yeah, so I already have my my private pilot's license.
Yeah,
and so
you've already been infected.
Yes, and that's the thing is I've already had the bug,
it is a disease. I mean, you can't. It is so freaking fun.
Oh yeah, I fell in love with it as soon as I had
exhilarating, and I have never met a pilot that hated being a pilot.
Right.
Now, they hate some of this crap they have to do sometimes, but the takeoffs, landing, and flying, they love it. 100%. I mean, it's very unusual running against somebody who goes, I really hate doing this. It just bothers me. Everybody, it's like a disease, and so the problem is when it's an addiction, and you got to be careful, man. You're gonna make bad decisions in your enthusiasm.
Using the filter of wisdom, I just go, all right, debt's off the table. How are we going to do this? How long is it going to take? How do we speed it up?
How can I speed it up? How much overtime can I take doing something I don't like so I get to get my hours so I can move up, and go from a single engine to get a jet license and move on and then get the hours and get the hours and then get the hours and keep moving along, and then that puts you in a position to choose your gig, Like, I mean, I've got a good friend that is a corporate pilot, and meaning he flies for a guy that has a big jet, and he makes $250,000 a year. It's not bad. It's not, and he's not putting up with airline crap. He's just flying his buddy up there to Montana. I mean, that's all that kind of stuff, right? And it's a good life. So, but to get to that stage, you've got, as he said, Christian's right. He's got some expense, and he's got to get his hours and that kind of stuff. But it's different than I want to be an architect, and I once drew a plan and it was fun. No. This is addicting.
I got to get back out there.
People that want to become pilots, it's not unusual for those of you that are in that category to go do really stupid stuff in pursuit of your addiction.
All in the name of aviation.
Yeah, so don't do it. Just take your time, be wise. This is a career. It's what we're going to do for a living. And no, you don't need to have a bunch of debt. You don't have a dime of debt around it. You can do it. You can work through the hours and, as you said, cash flow it if it delays it a little. But that also sets you up for taking the right job because you're not some broke guy.
Not desperate.
That's trying to squeeze your way into aviation. Because, I mean, if you get on some of these little the guys and gals flying some of the regional prop commercials, that's when I know I'm old. When the pilot looks like I've got socks older than them, it scares you. I mean, they're just straight out.
He just started to grow some chin hair.
Just green, man. And I'm sure they're competent pilots, or they wouldn't put them in there. I mean, I'm not questioning their skills, but for an old turkey like me, it's just like, oh my God, he looks like he's 12.
Well, they grew up playing video games, so it's not too much of a stretch at this point.
George, that was not comforting at all. Nick is with us. Nick is in Atlanta. Hi, Nick. What's up?
Hey, guys. Thanks for having me.
Sure. How can we help?
I'm 29. My wife's 27. And as of last week, we became both consumer debt-free.
Yay!
And, yep, very excited about it. And also our emergency fund's fully funded. So we're technically on 4, 5, and 6 right now. No kids yet. We have our house, and for us, we are planning to move. We have a house here in Georgia, but we're planning on selling it in the next 8 months or so and then moving up north to Pennsylvania.
Mm-hmm.
So my question is, do you think it's wise to just pause on investing right now and instead for the next 8 or so months just try to save as much money as possible to get ready for the next home purchase?
You mean to put a down payment?
You have equity in the Georgia home, don't you?
I do. I'm thinking that it might be a little bit better just to save in the next 8 months instead.
I wouldn't know. I'd save 15% of my income towards retirement, and anything else you can save above that. And you've been paying more than that anyway on debt, so you're used to living on less. So I just act like it's debt. I'm going to start, but I'm going to go ahead and get your emergency fund in place, and you just became consumer debt free. So now you got to do baby step 3 and 4. And you got the equity coming out of the house in Georgia. You make the move with that,
and just roll that right into the next house, as much as you can.
Yeah, I mean that. I don't, because here's the thing. I don't want to get any of us in the habit of jumping in and out of investing. We just need to be steady, just steady and invest, and don't look for reasons to quit investing, even if it's temporary. Because you get used to that. Okay, now we're going to buy a bass boat, so we need to stop investing for 6 months. No. Well, now we're going to no. There's always something, and this is a valid question. But what I don't want is the people that we've studied that became millionaires never stopped. They stay with their investing.
Steady and consistent.
And that time and consistency thing is a big deal.
Yeah. The only time we'd want you to pause investing if there was a true storm, a true emergency, and this move's happening. It's 8 months away.
It's not an emergency.
You get the cash. You can do this.
And you've got money coming out of the house. You're just trying to beef it up a little. Maybe move up in house or something as you're going. But I don't mind you doing all that, but no, I wouldn't stop investing. Nope, wouldn't do it. Hey, thanks for the call, man. That puts this hour of the Ramsey Show in the books. Our thanks to James, Andrew, Zach, Ben, and Austin in the booth. The booth dudes are with us. This is the Ramsey Show. Dave here. We just launched a brand new audience survey for the Ramsey Show, and we'd love your feedback. You could be entered to win a $500 Visa gift card. No purchase necessary. Take the survey at RamseySolutions.com/survey. The headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, broadcasting from the Pods Moving and Storage studio. It's the Ramsey Show, where debt is dumb, cash is king, and the paid-off home mortgage has taken the place of the BMW as the status symbol of choice. We help people build wealth, do work that they love, and create actual amazing relationships. George Camel, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today as we answer your questions about your life and your money. Open phones at 888-825-5225. Mike is in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Hey, Mike, welcome to the Ramsey Show.
Hey, Dave. How are you? Thanks for having me on the show.
Sure. What's up?
Well, got a question for you. My wife and I have been following the baby steps. We are consumer debt-free. No car loans, other than the only thing we owe is on our primary residence. And then I have several rental properties that I've got 5 that still have a note on them. We have 2 senior college kids, and so we've got about 1 semester left, and we've been cash flowing that. So my question is about the rentals. Is it, I've got a couple of them that have one has a note of $20,000. One has a note of, a little less than $40,000.
is it okay to do the debt snowball on those, and as I pay those off, keep paying those off and then move to my primary residence? Or does it make more sense to sell a few of those off and just wipe out the primary residence?
How many rental properties do you own total?
I have 10.
Okay. And 5 of them have a note, and 20 and 40, yep. And what other kind of notes?
One is like 70, another one is like a little over 80, and then the last one is like 125.
Okay. And your personal residence is how much owed on it?
320.
And your household income is what?
My wife and I make about a little over 200 a year.
Cool. How old are y'all? 55?
I'm 55.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's about right. Okay. Yeah. So two approaches. Since your notes on your rentals are very small compared to your house, yeah, I would do those first because they're easy, right?
Right.
If they were equal, I'd pay off your house first, but they're not equal.
Okay.
So it doesn't come up. But and so the debt snowball does work. So there's two approaches you could use to this, and anywhere in between those two approaches is fine. One is simply, like you said, just debt snowball them and then pay off your house as quick as you can after that with all the increased cash flow. You got all the cash flow from 10 rentals, plus you got the household income of 200, so you knock out the 300 in, a couple of years probably. Maybe sure. 3 years, something like that. So, by the time you're 60, you need to be done with all this.
Right.
That's what I'm saying. Okay. Now, if, however, you wanted to go crazy and just be done now, you probably could sell half these rentals and clear everything, couldn't you?
Yeah. I have about $700,000 in equity.
Yeah.
So
rental. That's the other side of the spectrum. One spectrum is the slow way, plot out over 5 years. One's the instant way now, and you could do anything in between, which is probably what I would do, is something in between. Because generally speaking, when I meet people that have 10 rental properties, they have 2 of them they really don't like that much.
Right.
And that's the 2 I'm going to sell. And so now I'm not going to get rid of all of it right now today, but I'm going to accelerate this 5-year to maybe a 3-year by picking off 2 or 3 that I'm not that thrilled with anyway. I might not buy them again if I didn't already own them kind of property, and just clear those notes and throw those equities at the other rentals and or at the house. And so none of this is required. Anywhere in there is okay. All at once today, by selling enough of it to just clear everything, and you got 3 cleared properties and your cleared house, and boom, we're done. Okay, that's today. The other way is 5 years, you slow walk it out, and then somewhere in between, a hybrid, which is getting rid of something you probably don't even like anyway. That you don't, sure. 5 years from now, that house it's not done that good. It's a pain in the butt. It's always, it's a older property. It's hard to maintain. It's a neighborhood that's not doing that great. The type of renters I get in there aren't that great. Whatever it is, something that's the way I would find a property I didn't like in my portfolio. I'd be going, this one is less fun than the other ones,
What's your long-term plan, Mike? You want to retire in a few years? Have you talked to your wife about this?
Well, she'd like to retire tomorrow, but no, we're probably looking at, my wife's a travel nurse and I'm in sales. So we're probably looking anywhere between, probably 10 years from now.
Okay. This just helps me drive the decision to go, okay, if she wants to stop working tomorrow, I might be selling some of these properties versus using our future income to try to pay them off more slowly. So I would have a conversation with your wife about this, make that decision together, but I like the plan of splitting the difference. And if it's not enough, we go, all right, we're going to sell the next least favorite one to speed this up.
Yeah, and just, I'm probably going to pick off 2 or 3 of these that I'm not that excited about anyway and accelerate this and make it a 3-year or 3.5-year plan or whatever. But it's a 5-year plan if you don't sell anything. It's what the math is telling me. I'm just doing quick numbers in my head, but I think I'm pretty close on that. Hey, that's well done, sir. You've done great building this up. I'm proud of you. Good work. A lot of stuff you can do there. A lot of stuff you can do. Mike is with us in St. Paul. Hey, Mike, welcome to the Ramsey Show.
Yeah, hi, Dave. Thanks for having me.
Sure. What's up?
So my question is that my wife and I are looking for some advice on whether or not paying off our current home and paying for a lot of upgrades to modernize it, or selling it and purchasing a more modern home and starting with a fresh mortgage.
Mm-hmm. What's it going to cost to update the house?
It's going to cost about $100,000 to upgrade the house. We're looking at siding a master bath, finishing a basement, and a kitchen.
Wow, that's a lot. You think that will increase the value by 100?
That's a tough question with today's market kind of changing so much so quickly. We just know that, emotionally, it's hard for us to kind of wrap our heads around that. Hiring out contractors, getting bids, having our house torn apart.
Yeah.
And then also how long that, all those projects look like.
I only did a minor remodel that's not as extensive as you're talking about while I was living in the house one time. And I distinctly remember sitting in a lawn chair on plywood where they had ripped the carpet up in my master bedroom watching television. And I told my wife, you might be a redneck if you are in your master bedroom watching a big screen on plywood in a lawn chair.
While they're working.
And so I just, that was the end of me doing this stuff. So if I'm in your shoes, I'm just going to go buy something.
I wouldn't fool with it.
Life is too short to remodel a house while you live in it.
Whew.
It's a pain in the butt. Sawdust and everything. It's hard. Now, light remodels are one thing, but what you're talking about is very extensive. It's almost as extensive as building a house. And I personally wouldn't do that. I'd move out, and I'd just go buy something. There's houses everywhere. That's what I would do. This is The Ramsey Show. Thanks for joining us, America. George Camel, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today. When you're worried about money, it's all you can think about. Stress affects your marriage, your family, your career. It affects everything until one day you look up and you feel like everything's on fire. Well, you shouldn't have to live this way. And by the way, you don't have to. When you have a plan, you will discover peace in your life that you didn't think was possible. Financial Peace University, you'll learn the same plan that almost 10 million people have on how to budget, how to save and spend wisely, how to get out of debt, become wealthy, outrageously generous. And the course includes Dr. John Deloney and George Camel and Rachel Cruz and me. It's the best version of Financial Peace University we've ever done, and we're offering it at the lowest price we ever have to make it as easy as possible to get started. So decide today that you're done letting money stress rule your life. Get started with Financial Peace University by visiting RamseySolutions.com/FPU, RamseySolutions.com/FPU. George, it's worth noting that while everything else is going up with inflation, the cost for Financial Peace University is the lowest it has ever been right now.
I don't know how you did it, Dave.
It's worth noting.
That's amazing.
Worth noting. I had nothing to do with it. Someone over in Financial Peace University decided to lower the price, didn't even ask me.
It's worth every penny. I mean, the turnarounds we see in the first few months of doing this stuff, you save thousands of dollars, pay off thousands of dollars of debt that you wouldn't have otherwise if you didn't follow this plan.
It's crazy. Absolutely works. All right, Valerie's in San Antonio. Hey, Valerie, how are you?
Hi, I'm good. How are you, Mr. Ramsey?
Better than I deserve. How can we help?
I have a quick question about baby steps. I'm on baby step 2, and after we pay off our credit cards, technically our next debt is my daughter's braces. We owe about $3,800 on them now. My question is, though, should we pay that all off because my husband is looking for another job and we wouldn't be living in the same city, or do I still pay it off and then move on,
Okay, I'm sorry. If you move cities, they're going to take our braces out?
No, I just didn't know if you pay off that debt, if we have to go to another orthodontics, if they would honor that, or I'm not sure how that works.
So you're in debt for the entire treatment plan, but you're saying the treatment plan isn't done, and you're moving in the middle of it.
No, yes. Well, my husband's looking for another job. We're from the north. We live in Texas right now, and it's just too hot for us. So she will have braces. They predict about 2 years. I'm assuming we're going to move in the meantime, but I just don't know. So I wasn't sure.
I'm not sure exactly how this works. So, but you're saying you're going to have to pay someone to finish the treatment, finish dealing with her braces in another city, right?
Yes.
And you're not going to have to pay the orthodontist that put them in?
Well, I'm making a monthly payment right now.
I know, but I mean, if you move, you don't have to pay them?
I don't know how that works.
I don't either. I think you got to pay them.
Yeah. Well, I don't know because they said it's for the full treatment. So
well, call them and ask them and tell them you're thinking about moving. And what do you owe today if you were to move?
Okay.
And pay that.
The reason I asked because our next debt is our car, which is much more. So I wasn't sure.
Yeah.
How that works.
But I want I'm guessing that there is. I don't know what they're doing here. I don't know how it works. So yeah, you do want to clear it though. You don't want to have a debt hanging over your head when you're in another city on these braces.
Okay.
So you need to find out what the debt is in the event you move in the next 3 months, and clear that. And then, if you stay, then you'll continue the plan. You'd pay the rest of it off, right? If you'd move, then you've cleared it, and you're good to go, right?
Yes.
By the way, get all that in writing so there's no confusion later. Don't. It's not that they would rip you off necessarily. Orthodontists aren't known for being scam artists or anything like that, but sometimes there's confusion. And when it's written down, it gets rid of the confusion.
And there may be something in that contract for the treatment plan that says, this is what you owe us, regardless of what you do with your life. And so it may be the case.
Kind of afraid you owe the whole thing, but I don't know how that works. Jonathan is in Denver. Hey, Jonathan, welcome to the Ramsey Show.
Hey, Mr. Ramsey, George. It's nice talking to you guys.
You too. How can we help?
So me and my girlfriend have been dating for around 8 months now. I have introduced her to your guys' plan. I'm trying to find the best way to help her without being an enabler or any sort of, back end where she ends up just relying on me. She doesn't appreciate when I do ask her if she would like some money and when, there's a couple of weeks where she would break down on me because she would end up just saying that she's broke or she just can't find a way out. So I'm just trying to find the best way to help her without being an enabler.
So she's actively asking you for money regularly?
No, she never does. It's more like I to ask her if she would like some money just because I don't like seeing her struggle.
And she's offended by that?
I wouldn't say she's offended. She doesn't take any sort of offense to it, any offensive stand. She's very understanding. She's very caring.
Okay, so what's her problem? How much debt does she have?
I am unsure. She won't disclose that to me. Like I said, we're still dating. It's not like we're married or anything like that. But I do see her as a potential. I do see it as me and her getting married because.
Not until you find out what the flip's going on.
Yeah. She's currently in school. There is times where she is a CNA, so she gets put on call at times. I have, informed her hey, can you try looking at other departments in your hospital to see if you could get, any extra income or anything like that. But I just feel like sometimes she tried.
How old are you?
I'm 24.
How old is she?
She's 24 as well.
Okay. All right. So here's the thing. In your mind, this relationship has progressed further than it has in hers. You are completely dabbling in her business, and she doesn't want you to know what it is.
Correct.
You are further along the path than she is.
I do feel like, in terms of emotion, it is mutual. But
No, it's not.
in terms of finances,
No, it's not. Because you're willing to tell her everything about you and about your money, and she's not willing to tell you what's going on with her money.
Correct.
And that may be coming from shame and some baggage, but we have to unpack this before this relationship progresses any further.
Correct.
Yeah, this is a blockade to you all getting to know each other better at a deep level, called intimacy. Okay? And so emotional intimacy. And so you guys getting to know each other and disclosing and starting to share life is a precursor to you guys going into an engagement. And so until she's ready to take that next step, you're standing over here ready to go step. She's not ready to go. And so I guess you've just got to find out, A, is this shame? Or B, is she just not ready to move forward as much as you're ready to move forward? There's either one's possible.
I do feel it's more in the shame part, just because there is points where, she is hard on money and she still tries to find a way to budget and make her ends meet.
You don't have any idea what's going on. Because you don't know how much she has in debt. You don't know how much income she has. You don't know what's going on. All you saw is your girlfriend crying. That's all you know.
Yeah, I mean, I do know what she makes. She has disclosed some information in terms of like what she makes, what she's trying to do. But in terms of like her debt, her student loans and stuff, I've asked her, and it's more like I feel like she's ashamed.
Well, I mean, you can't go forward in this relationship until she can get past this. It's a blockade. And so you got to just back up and give this some more time, or it's a cut bait thing, one of the two. I don't know which it is, but it doesn't sound like it's that yet. But at some point, we have to be able to open up about these things in spite of shame, in spite of pride, whatever it is. This is The Ramsey Show. Thank you for joining us, America. George Camel, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today. Open phones at 888-825-5225. Anthony is with us in Colorado Springs. Hi, Anthony. Welcome to The Ramsey Show.
Good afternoon, guys. Thank you for taking our call.
Sure. What's up?
So my wife and I are realtors here in Colorado, and we paid off our first primary residence, which is now an investment property, and now we just paid off our current primary residence.
Way to go.
We have, what's that, sir?
I said, way to go.
Oh, thank you, sir. Appreciate that. We have no debt. Cars are paid off. Both of our degrees are paid off. My question is we're considering an investment, our second investment property. And the rates are really high, but we did get a HELOC and we did get approved on our primary residence. And we wanted your thoughts on moving forward with the HELOC. We did do some numbers and we're looking at about $500 a month cash flow on this particular property.
Mm-hmm. That's when it's rented.
Correct. Yes, sir.
And you know they're not always rented.
Yes, sir.
And you know renters don't always pay.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So I'm pointing out the obvious, but what is interesting is that those of us that are real estate people, you and me, one of the things that happens when we get to be real estate people is they take our risk meter out and they break it with a hammer, and we no longer perceive risk. And we say things like, oh, it's going to cash flow $500 in a perfect freaking world only. But nobody says that out loud, that heat and airs go out and it's $3,500, or roof leak over here, or water heater blows out the pop-off valve and half the basement floods. And, oh, by the way, the renter's going to sue you for that too. And nobody brings this stuff up. It's part of the equation, though. I don't mind it. It's part of real estate. I own a bunch of real estate, as you probably know. But, the cash flow can be a bit overstated when we don't take all things into consideration. So, Anthony, I mean, I don't know how long you guys have been listening to us, but we tell folks not to borrow money.
Okay.
And so the way I built my second real estate portfolio, the way I built the first one is like you're doing, and I went broke and lost it all. The way I built my second one is I paid cash for it, and it was slower. Now, you have no house payment, dude, and you have a rental property with no debt on it, so it's cash flowing like a bandit in that sense. I mean, every bit of money that thing makes, it really makes. It doesn't. None of it has to go to the bank. And I'm going to guess and say that you said both of you in real estate. I'm going to guess and say you guys are making north of $200,000, aren't you? What do you make?
We made $400,000 last year.
Yeah. Okay. I thought you were killing it. Maybe not this year. Maybe things are slowing down a little. But 300 to 400. Okay. And what can happen is that you begin to feel bulletproof and you don't perceive the risk anymore in these situations. So I'm always going to teach you what we have found to be true with the vast majority of millionaires we've studied, and that is be the tortoise, slow and steady and ugly, and he always wins the race, and I'm going to save up and pay cash for it. I will tell you that a beautiful thing happens when you get to 3 or 4 properties. Pretty quickly, your rental income will buy you another house every year.
That's awesome.
But it takes a little while, and the first 2 are like pulling teeth, and you're tempted to go do a HELOC because everything in your real estate world, everything in the world I grew up in, tells you to borrow money. No one in the real estate business runs around saying be debt-free. It just doesn't happen. But when I find millionaires and I study them that own real estate, almost all of them did it without debt or got out of the debt as quickly as they possibly could, like you did the first time. Something drove you to get out of debt.
Yes, sir. So you're saying even if we have to wait till like next summer, if we're going to pay cash, that's the route to go.
That's less than a year away. We're not talking 10 years from now.
Yeah.
You guys have a great income. You could buy this rental property a year from now, do a little slower with way less risk.
Yeah. Just be steady, be steady, be steady, be steady. Here's the thing. We've done detailed research. 100% of the foreclosures occur on a home with a mortgage. When a pandemic hits, when your tenant goes into Chapter 7 and it's 4 months before the court opens that case up and you don't get any payments during that time, you got no issue. Or someday it could happen to you like it did to me a while back. A tenant came up and said, hey, my wife's got cancer and it's stage 4 and we don't know what we're going to do. We're scared. And we just said, well, let's just take it. Well, you keep us informed. We want to stay up with what's going on, but we were able to give them a break and not have to charge them for a while. You get yourself in those kinds of positions that you can be generous and compassionate and you don't get caught by somebody who's trying to mess you over. In another case where somebody just doesn't want to pay and you have a pandemic moratorium on evictions or some kind of crap like that. I've been doing this 30 years, and it's just there's something always messing with your real estate. Real estate's a wonderful investment, and I love it, and I want you to do it, but I want you to pay cash. That's what I would do if I were in your shoes. It's what I have done, and now I own several $100 million worth of real estate. I mean, the building we're sitting in alone is $100 million. So, just as an example. But that's, it's... Yeah, that's what I want you to do.
Well, you make different decisions when you can do it with no debt, with a lot of clarity, move slowly, use wisdom, and not be desperate because you owe the lender. I like that plan. A
steady grace is the word. Gracefulness. The movements are more of a dance rather than a thrashing about. It's not a mosh pit at a punk rock concert.
Rock show. Yeah.
And that's pretty, basically the people that we find that really build wealth, they have this steady move, almost like it's a martial arts workout or something, or a yoga move or something like that. And the TikTok real estate investors are pretty much a punk rock mosh pit. And you're going to get about the same different result. I mean, there's different things. You're
going to get a bloody nose in the mosh pit. That's all I'm saying.
There's a flow to it here. Crowd surfing with undependable people. That's all it is. So it's, but yeah, that's Dr. John Deloney's field, I guess. I shouldn't be stepping into his area.
Dave is definitely
his area of
expertise,
yoga. But yeah,
your yoga, John Deloney's
I look
punk
like
rock.
yoga, but yeah, but the that's not the point. But there's this. When I find people who have built wealth, I never thought about it until just sitting here thinking about it out loud right now. But there's a graceful movement to the cadence.
They're not rushed
to what you're doing. There's no rush. There's a wisdom. It can be kind. It's very strong. It can be courageous. But those movements have all of that in play, and it affects how well the investments do. Because you don't have to force everything. There's not as much friction. There's not as much
pressure riding on it.
Around it, and we take all of that out when you put debt on it. And the more debt you put on it, the more wild and crazy and
more zeros
thrashing about that there is, and all that. And it's just, there is a risk factor. When we had Graham Stephan in the other day, we were talking about that on his podcast that we recorded. I guess I don't know, has that dropped yet? Or
yeah, it's all out there.
Is it? Okay.
Iced Coffee Hour on his separate channel, and you are on his channel. Once or twice they were reviewing his portfolio.
Yeah, and he came on here for a little while on this show. Yeah, a sharp young guy. But we were just talking because he's well-known, big-time YouTuber on the real estate investing stuff. But
we disagree on the financial.
So not violently. I mean, we're friends, but and he's a sharp young guy. But it was fun. It was a fun discussion. But that's the kind of thing I wish I had thought of that example even when I was with him. That there's a gracefulness, a smooth movement of kindness and
a
courage and strength that is different than when you're leveraged to your eyeballs. It just changes everything. This is the Ramsey Show. Our scripture of the day, Colossians 3:13, bear with each other and forgive one another. If any of you has a grievance against someone, forgive as the Lord forgave you. Mark Twain said, forgiveness is the fragrance that the violet sheds on the heel that has crushed it. Woo!
True poet.
Look at that. He should be a writer. Open phones at 888-825-5225. George Camel, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today. Tyler is next in Grand Rapids, Michigan. Hey, Tyler, what's up in your world?
Not much. What's up in yours?
Struggling through, brother. How can we help?
So I would love to run my situation by you and then kind of get your thoughts. So a quick summary would be that I'm graduating from local university here in December, a degree in finance, and I'm graduating debt-free, thanks almost entirely in part to my amazing parents.
Way to go. Very good.
Recently, in terms of yesterday, I accepted a return offer stemming from my summer internship at one of the largest banks in the country.
Way to go.
What are, in your opinion, some of the biggest pitfalls or mistakes that people in my situation tend to make, and what would be the best way to go about avoiding them?
So you're saying my first adult big boy job out of college, I don't want to screw this up.
Mm-hmm.
Well, number one, the principles that got you through school debt-free, I want you to carry throughout, which is wise planning, diligence, live on less than you make, don't go out and buy a bunch of toys and get in a house and do things when you're not financially ready just because that's what you're supposed to do after college because you saw your friends do it. And now they're going, dude, you don't have a nice why are you still driving that beater car? You don't have a house yet? Dude, you have a great job in finance. What are you doing? That's what you're about to be up against in the adult world that no one tells you is the amount of pressure and comparisons that are about to come your way.
Mm-hmm.
So if you can battle against that, you are going to be just fine because you're coming out of this completely debt free.
Yes, correct.
What do you drive?
2010 Ford Taurus with about 190,000 miles on it.
I love it.
Okay. And what will you be making at the new gig?
70 a year.
And when does that start?
February 27. I graduate in December.
February of 27? What'd you say?
February 27th of this upcoming year.
Oh, so this coming February. Okay.
Correct. Yeah.
Okay.
So I have 2 months after graduation.
Okay. What I would do is get a modest apartment, furnish it modestly, and pile up cash and get you a better car. Your car sucks.
Yeah, I'm looking at upgrading.
Yeah, maybe
doing anything
as quick as you can save $5,000-$10,000. Let's move up in car. Okay.
All right.
If your car was a better car, I'd have you drive it for a year or two. But you need to upgrade this one.
Sure do.
And but you don't need to go into debt to do it. We're going to pay cash, and so first big
Correct.
cash goal is build your emergency fund. The next big cash goal is save up and buy and move up in car $5,000-$10,000, something like that. And then you're just going to start systematically moving towards your investing and start whatever you're going to do, you're going to pay cash for. And we're going to start saving towards the first house. And get your 401k and that kind of stuff started probably down in the summer somewhere. About a year from now, all that stuff will start hitting. But it sounds like you've studied our stuff, like you know it all. Know what we teach.
I've been an active listener for the past 2 years. Then in high school, we did a curriculum in one of my classes.
Yeah, good.
It's awesome.
So the Foundations in Personal Finance, our high school curriculum, set the table for you. That's perfect. Yeah, so you're asking really mature, wise questions because, what does happen, Tyler, and you've watched your friends do this maybe, is the first thing people do when they come out of school is they go get a car payment because they deserve a new car to go with their new job, to go with their new apartment. And they usually rent an apartment or house that is too nice. I did. I didn't buy a new car, but I did. Sharon and I got married like 2 weeks after I graduated, and we rented a 3-bedroom townhouse, and there were 2 of us. It was, it didn't make it's dumber than a rock. Why do we need 3 bedrooms? But we thought, and 6 months later we moved into a little 1-bedroom because we grew up and we got smart, and had an adult or two speak into my life and go, "That's stupid," and it was, and so, but that's, and it was half the 1-bedroom was half the price. It didn't make any sense. It didn't make any sense at all.
And he can get some roommates too. He's a single guy coming out of college.
Yeah, but so you're gonna kind of get stabilized in your, in your lifestyle and in everything, and just don't jump in. The problem is people graduate, they start making $70,000, they act like they're making $700,000, and they go bananas, and it's like they've been working 4 years, living on cafeteria food. Sitting on old used furniture and horrible stuff in the dorm or whatever, and now I get to go out and have like a real life, and then they dramatically overspend.
Just blank check that thing.
Tyler's not going to do that,
No.
but some of Tyler's friends are, and he may already be observing that. But the biggest mistake most people do is they go get a car payment day one. As soon as they get out of school, they go get a car, and a big car payment, and it's a very nice car that they can't afford. So save up, pay cash for a better car. You do need to do that, but we're going to pay cash, and then let's just cash flow, no debt, any moves you're going to make past that, and furniture, whatever it is you're doing.
And he set up the foundation. It's rare to meet a kid who's graduating completely debt-free because his parents were wise. So it sets him up differently than a kid who's coming out of college with $100,000 asking us, what do I do now? Because now we go, you got to clean up this mess for the next 3 years.
Exactly.
So he's in an amazing spot.
You got 3 years of your life back.
That's the power of following this plan. So way to go, Tyler. It's
and
encouraging.
Actually, if you're more normal, you got 10 years of your life back that you don't have this debt hanging around you, this epic failure of student loans. George, I was thinking earlier today, it's on that same subject. The our documentary on student loans is absolutely a must-watch right now.
It's even more relevant than when we released it.
Yeah, Borrowed Future. with all the discussion of student loans and of the cost of education and what the cost of education is going to do as a result of this forgiveness, if the forgiveness actually comes through from the Biden administration. It's yet to figure out if it does require an act of Congress or not.
This time, literally. Usually you say that ironically.
Not as a figure of speech, but an actual act of Congress. Does Congress have to approve this spending? And most people think they do. And so can he get that through before the Democrats do not any longer have a majority after midterms? Because there's going to be a bloodbath on that. Most people believe. So then what do we do from there? And so borrowed future, to set you up to have the young people in your life be a Tyler instead of being hundreds of thousands of dollars in debt, it's just essential. What you study matters. Where you study it matters. And college choice is really tied into this whole epic failure called the student loan program. And we disclose and reveal the predatory nature of the whole program. It's the underbelly of this thing's nasty.
It is dark stuff.
It's nasty and dark and evil, and it's out of control. And it was a well-intentioned idea that got the federal government's hands on it, which will screw up Christmas. And man, it is a mess. And and it still begs the question that we asked in the documentary, or the statement that we asked in the documentary, that if you're going to forgive student loans while you're still making them, that is intellectually dishonest. If they're so bad and so oppressive, and the poor people that have been taken advantage of that they must be forgiven, and yet you're still making them, it's just straight up wrong.
You're asking politicians to be logical, Dave. That's where you messed up.
Well, critical thinking skills should be required somewhere in the vicinity of Washington, D.C., but apparently not. So,
well, every parent needs to watch this because it'll spark some great conversations.
Every parent, everybody that has a teenager, every teacher. If you're a teacher, we'll still let your classroom watch it for free, so get in touch with us. It's one of the biggest documentaries on Amazon Prime, so go out there and watch it. It's a Google Play. It's out there. Borrowed Future. This is The Ramsey Show. Dave here. We just launched a brand new audience survey for The Ramsey Show, and we'd love your feedback. You could be entered to win a $500 Visa gift card. No purchase necessary. Take the survey at RamseySolutions.com/survey.